All right. Welcome to the MasterMind Library. I'm Ferdinand, the bringer of balance, leader of many disciplines, and your host of the MasterMind Library. As y'all know, we've been reading from The Ultimate Sales Machine. And the last Friday, we finished out with chapter 6, The Art of Getting the Best Buyers. And today, we're going to dive right into the 7 Musts of Marketing. All right, chapter 7. Some powerful material up in here. All right, so let's make this a little bit larger so everybody can see the words easy. And let's move this way. And then let's go to, all right, we're there now. 7 Musts of Marketing. Turbocharge every aspect of your primary marketing efforts. Before you can obtain the ultimate sales machine, every aspect of your business must run with razor sharp precision, and that includes your marketing. Consider this a $50 million learning curve on the absolute necessities of marketing, along with how to use them as part of that machine. If you build that stadium pitch or core story as outlined in chapter 4, all of your marketing weapons will work more effectively and more as a united front. Here are what I call the 7 musts of marketing. Every company wants to be number one in its industry or profession, must deploy them. Number one, advertising. Two, direct mail. Three, corporate literature, brochures, and promotional pieces. Four, public relations. Five, personal contact, salespeople, and customer service. Six, market education, trade shows, speaking engagements, and education based marketing, as described in Chapter 4. Seven, internet, websites, email efforts, and affiliate marketing. Most large companies are doing all of these already, but often how they are doing them can be dramatically improved. In small companies, you may not be able to afford to do them all. So you have to pick and choose which weapons will get you the most impact for the least money. This chapter is going to show you how to maximize each of these weapons separately, and then how to coordinate all of these weapons as a united front. In the companies that already use all 7 marketing weapons, I usually find that each is treated as a separate little island. This is especially true in the biggest companies, where there is often no synergy between the ads, the brochure, the look and feel of their trade show presence, the direct mail effort, the PR activity, the sales teamwork, and the web efforts. You may think you've got synergy or, at the very least, a uniform look to all your marketing, but this chapter will show you how to soup it up even more. Often, the PR staff has collected and put into a lovely photo album all of their press releases and the articles they've gotten placed in various newspapers and magazines. When PR people proudly shows me examples of their accomplishments, I frequently reply, "Gee, that's a great article." It points out a lot of the benefits of doing business with your company. Have the salespeople have the salespeople ever had that as a sales tool? By the look on the face of almost every PR person I've said this to, I can tell that the salespeople haven't seen it and that they will get that article within minutes of my leaving the meeting. Additionally, those same pieces may be powerful when used with direct mail or at trade shows, yet no one may be coordinating that effort. Another example of this lack of coordination comes when the marketing department assembles a brochure without asking the salespeople what sales points would make the brochure a more effective communication piece. In essence, these marketing weapons are not working together as a highly strategic and organized attack, but when they do, they all work more effectively as part of the same machine. I call this stacked marketing. It involves coordinating all of your marketing weapons rather than having varying and even conflicting messages from each separate weapon. With stack marketing, you develop a consistent message, theme, and slogan that carries throughout all of your marketing efforts. Also, your core story or stadium pitch will provide you with data that will make all of your marketing weapons work harder. In the case of the carpet cleaning company, the owner put all the EPA data in his brochure, radio ads, TV spots, and every conversation. Market data, being more motivational than product data, now dominates all his marketing weapons. As we soup up each of the seven musts of marketing, keep thinking of how you can use market data and concepts from your core story or stadium pitch. Marketing weapon one: advertising. If you have the budget for it, advertising has the broadest reach and creates the most top of mind awareness. When I worked for Charlie Munger, I headed up a 4 year study of what kinds of ads got the best response. Every so often, we'd find that one ad was pulling 10 times more response than other ads for similar products in the same magazine. Invariably, the best pulling ads all followed a specific formula. Using this insight, I started designing ads that helped our clients pull a much higher response. Over the years, I've designed more than 500 advertising campaigns, and because of the learning curve from our study, have maintained a very consistent ranking among the best pulling ads in the magazine. There are four rules for creating high response generating advertising. Rule one: it must be distinctive. The first important thing about your ad is whether or not it attracts attention. The best response gathering ads catch the eye and hold it. There must be something in the ad that is distinctive and really stands out. I recall an ad in an airline magazine where there was a fellow looking into the camera, and behind him were two velociraptors about to pounce. It stopped you cold. Another ad that stands out in my mind was for a graphic design firm. It was a shot of a herd of zebras, and one of them had all different colored stripes, like a roll of lifesavers. This against a sea of black and white zebras. The headline that went with that ad was great too. In the corporate jungle, identity is everything. Clever, distinctive. But we'll get to headlines in a moment. So the first question is, what can you do to really stand out? Let's talk TV for a moment. We all know that the majority of people at least mute their commercials if they are not already fast forwarding through them using TiVo or DVR. This challenges TV advertisers to be creative, to develop ads that stop you dead in your tracks. They need ads that are so intriguing that you'll unmute to hear what goes along with bizarre images on the screen, or ads that, as you are fast forwarding, make you stop and rewind to see what the ads are saying. As of this writing, there is a Gap campaign that features Audrey Hepburn wearing skinny black pants and dancing to AC/DC in and out of scenes from her movie Funny Face. This ad stands out. Victoria's ad, Victoria's Secret ads also stand out, with Amazon-sized women in provocative stances, emphasizing the romance or sexy appeal of the image Victoria's Secret wants to create. Yet, there aren't many TV ads that make you stop to watch or even make you curious about the content that might go with the images you are fast forwarding through. Every company using TV must stop and ask the hard questions. How can we be distinctive? What can we do to stand out and stop people in their tracks? Rule 2: capture attention with a screaming headline. Back to print. The most effective ads have a headline that follows this important rule. Tell me what you want to tell me in 3.2 seconds. The headline should give a benefit and focus on the prospect by using you or your instead of focusing on yourself by using the word we. It should communicate its message immediately and make you want to read on for more information. It amazes me that companies will spend $100,000 to be in a national magazine, and a prospect has to work to figure out what the ad is selling. I had a client who ran more than $1 million worth of ads in Forbes, Fortune, and other prominent business magazines. The ad pictured an executive thinking about something, and the headline was vague, along the lines of thoughts are things. What is this about? You have no idea. Worse, the body copy didn't really explain much more. This company offered advanced technology systems, but you were hard pressed to understand that from the ads. Now, what if that headline said, your future is in danger unless you read this important notice? Even that is a little vague, but it's moving in the right direction. Even more on point, the headline should be specific. The internet is reshaping our world. and you're in trouble if you are behind the curve instead of in front of it. Now let's throw in a benefit and watch how it makes the ad even more appealing. The web is creating the leaders of tomorrow with better ways to capture and interact with clients than you've ever imagined. The benefit is better ways to capture and interact with clients. Or here's one that's even stronger. How would you like to capture 3 times more clients and lock them in so securely that no one could take them away from you? That would have pulled them more leads than they could have handled. Instead, they blew a million on what they called image ads. I was brought in to help their salespeople penetrate more clients because they were wasting $1 million on ads that didn't say anything or drive a single lead. I tactfully tried to discuss the ads with the ad director of the company, hoping to drive thousands of leads to the struggling sales force. When I asked the ad director if he got much response from those ads, he told me they weren't designed for purpose. So I asked him what was his philosophy running behind running the ads, and he said the campaign was designed to build awareness. But when I wanted to know if it was working, he wasn't sure. This kind of waste makes me crazy. Well designed ads can pull leads like crazy. They just have to be compelling. Advertising is a way to add power to everything else you're doing. I often refer to ads as long range bombing because they soften the market before you send in the troops. That said, some companies are using advertising just to maintain, protect, and further their brand. A Coke or Pepsi commercial, for example, might not be designed specifically for direct response. There is there the company is propagating its brand and must pay attention to the first rule of great advertising. Be distinctive. Obviously, the above example is for those interested in driving leads from their ads. Rule 3: after your headline hooks them, your body copy has to keep them reading. First, the body copy must focus on your prospect, not on you. The biggest mistake is most advertisers make the biggest mistake most advertisers make is focusing on themselves. I'm working with a company that does a lot of advertising. Every ad its people send me to tune up is focused on them instead of the prospect every single time. And every single time I point out and show them how to focus on the prospect. And every time the executive I'm working with says, "Wow, you're right. That's stronger." Then a month later, when it's time for a new ad, here it comes again, focused on them instead of the prospect. Next, each sentence should unfold the story you want to tell and make the prospect want to read on. Like the headline, the body copy should be benefit oriented. Don't tell me what it is, tell me why it is valuable. Rule 4: include a call to action. A reason to act now is always great. Call us now for a free report. Only 100 left. The first 100 who respond receive a XXX bonus. Another discovery from our print ad test that amazed me is that a coupon in the bottom right hand corner of the ad actually increased response. It might be a little box that says, "Yes, send me more information," and then a few lines from prospects fill in their contact information. To my utter amazement, executives would tear the page out of the magazine and hand it to an assistant, saying, "Fill this out and send it in." So coupons increased response in print ads. My theory is that a coupon provides a non committal way of responding. To actually make a phone call means you will have to engage with a salesperson, something you might not want to do at the time. But filling in a coupon is non committal and always increases response over ads that don't have them. As the economy tightens and the competition heightens, you will need to be more and more creative to draw new customers as well as motivate existing ones to buy more. With the effectiveness of TV, newspaper, radio, and magazine advertising dropping every year, people on a budget may want to consider much less expensive methods of reaching your customers. Many of these methods are spelled out in this book, such as the Dream 100 effort and education based marketing. Other advertising insights: if you're on a budget, you can take an ad one time and use it in all your other activities, which adds credibility. We once took a 1 minute excuse me, we once took a one-time full page ad in Forbes with the condition that they give us 100 copies of the magazine for free. Next, we included those 100 copies with a letter to 100 dream prospects with a post-it flagging the page with our full page ad. The salespeople also got copies of the magazine so that they could flip open the magazine and show prospects the full page ad in Forbes. We then used the same ad at a trade show with a banner across the right corner that said, as seen in Forbes. We're running a radio campaign right now, and the spots are pulling a steady stream of leads. But to our dismay, we have to chase the heck out of the leads to get them back on the phone to take the next step in our process. Looking at it on a week by week basis, the ads were not paying off, and I was thinking of pulling the campaign. Then we noted that continuing the ads on the same radio station, reaching the same audience again and again, was helping was helping even old prospects respond to our follow-up. So let's talk about radio. I have two stories. Traditional wisdom, as taught by radio guru Dan O'Day, says that on the radio, since you only have 60 seconds, you should try to give one main message. And most of the time, I found this to be very true. In fact, if you talk at a conversational pace, a radio spot should have between 187 and 200 words. Here's a radio spot that we ran recently that got good response. Hi, I'm Chet Holmes. If you own a business, I'd like to help you double your sales in 12 months flat. We've doubled the sales of more companies than anyone else. We teach 12 concepts that will double sales in 12 months. Here's just one of them. If you sell to customers, there's a way to market to only the best neighborhoods, reduce your marketing costs, and increase the quality of your buyers dramatically. Or if you sell to businesses, it's even easier to double sales. I doubled the sales of a company 3 years in a row for a well known billionaire by focusing on only 167 dream clients. While you're doing everything else, you need a concentrated effort to get your dream clients. No matter how big they are or how small they are, you can get dream clients if you hit them every 2 weeks without fail. Call us and we'll send you to a free website where you can learn 3 of the 12 concepts for free. 212 555 1234. To double the sales of your company, call 212 555 1234. Again, that's 212 555 1234. This script is 185 words and it works well. But we ran another ad. that was 387 words and just heaped benefits on people at a blinding pace with no time to breathe. The announcer was falling over himself in order to squeeze it all into a 1 minute spot. Here's a fact. While the average person speaks at only 125 words per minute, the brain can take in information at an average pace of 400 to 500 words per minute as we listen. This 387 word ad proved it. It went on for a blistering minute and included several endorsements as well as a list of 20 benefits from this particular service. It worked great, but I have to tell you that I have never been able to duplicate that success since. Most of the ads we run now are under 200 words. For some, it is critical to stay with these tried and true formats for exposure. Movie companies are a good example. TV is definitely the best advertising medium for the entertainment industry because you can tell a rich story in a short period of time by combining visual and audio communication. People like movie commercials because they're like a free mini movie slotted into the other programming you're watching. That said, I'm always amazed that a studio will spend a bloody fortune to advertise a movie and then not tell you what the movie is about. 9 times out of 10, when I see a 30 to or 60-second spot for a feature film, I turn to my wife and ask, "Do you know what that movie is about?" Movie TV spots should be like a mini movie telling a story. And the better the hook in the story, the more interested consumers are going to be. The power of storytelling in advertising is not limited to movie companies. I recently saw a very clever ad for clothing that looked like a movie trailer. Tell a story that intrigues the imagination, and you stand a better chance of people actually watching your commercial. Here's a 60-second TV spot for my upcoming feature film, Emily's Song. See if this TV spot makes you want to watch the movie. Try to visualize it as you read. This is an example of where TV is so much more powerful than print. Try to imagine these characters, great music, and gripping drama. The actors mentioned are not attached to this film at this time and are only given as examples to enhance the script. Scene opens, and we're seeing a father, Tom Hanks, and daughter, Dakota Fanning, sitting at a piano. They sparkle a loving and perfect father-daughter relationship. The father teaches his beautiful daughter the title song, Emily's Song. They laugh and sing. That's 12 seconds of a 60-second spot. Announcer. Emily Evers had the perfect childhood, surrounded in love and her father's love of music. But then tragedy struck. Scene. The father is being mugged. We see the knife flash to his throat and then him lying in a pool of blood on the ground. 6 seconds. Announcer. Leaving Emily alone. Scene. Her house is now empty. A social worker takes her away as she cries. 3 seconds. Announcer. Emily lives a lonely life. The only keepsake of her childhood, her music. Scene. Enter the adult Emily now, depicted by Kirsten Dunst, singing and playing piano for quarters on Venice Beach. 6 seconds. Scene. Three quick flashes Three quick flashes of her being rejected by music executives, showing that she struggles. But then, 9 seconds. Announcer. Emily Evers touches the world with her music. Scene. Emily Evers on stage, blowing the audience away, fans screaming her name, cameras flashing from every direction. We get that she has become a huge star. Scene. She is with a friend. She is crying, a tortured soul. Her friend is trying to comfort her, but doesn't know how. Announcer. The tragedy of her youth still haunts her, but in her darkest moment. Scene. Emily is hiding from paparazzi in a piano bar and suddenly hears the melody line from Emily's song playing in a darkened corner. She turns and goes to the piano to find her father, who is just as stunned to see her. Now grown up, in shock, Emily mutters, "Daddy," as she is stunned to see him alive. Scenes. The screen grows dark and comes up on four more lighting quick flashes of rock star moments and other drama, including Emily about to jump to her death. The last image is Emily, rock star, and her screaming fans. 4 seconds. In spot. That's a total of 60 seconds. A mini movie. Wrap some great music around that, do some slick editing, and you've got a movie with what I call commercial appeal. A mini movie like that isn't going to appeal to everyone, but it does show a lot of 60 it does show a lot in 60 seconds, and it has a good hook that makes you want to learn more. We've also shown a rags to riches story along with a powerful father-daughter story. And if it's done right, you're going to get chills when she finds her father still alive. Mind you, this isn't the whole story, not even close. And we can't possibly tell the whole story in 60 seconds. But what this is, in just 60 seconds, is a mini movie that elicits emotions and intrigues the imagination. It's a miracle that you can do with pictures in 60 seconds. Let's talk about TV advertising that's affordable for almost anyone. Cable television. Cable television is also a great way to advertise to consumers. It has become so inexpensive that almost anyone can do it. In some areas, you can buy for just a specific neighborhood. In my area, the local cable company can break out your TV ad to only appear in the city where you might have a bike shop or bakery. The power of TV advertising is amazing. I know an entrepreneur who offered the simple service of installing all your entertainment components for you. For a busy person, this might be a godsend. Instead of trying to figure out how to make your DVD, DVR, CD players, and newfangled plasma screen TV all work together, it might be worth $85 per hour to have this person come in and do it all for you. He also shows you how to use them. The company was called Mr. Tim's Home TV, Music and DVD Service. He went on local cable stations with a fast paced ad announcing his services. He was running about 40 spots a week for only $200. It was dirt cheap because the ads were only reaching 20,000 homes, but they were the 20,000 homes in a very wealthy area, so it was perfect for him. He was on TV during reruns of Friends, right there with the spot ads purchased by national brands like Coke and Paramount. As stated, the key to creating a great cable television ad is to make it as visual as possible. Remember to put the phone number on screen as well as in your announcer's script. You can even insert important copy points on screen as well. Mr. Tim's ad showed a man drowning in wires around his TV, VCR, and DVD player. The guy looks into the camera cross eyed while the screen flashed the words, "Let us figure out all this wiring for you." So, this visually told the story at the same time that the announcer was telling you what Mr. Tim could do for you. Here's another spot that worked well. Imagine this: you're watching commercials, but you have the TV muted. A woman pulls up to a car and gets out of her own car with a baseball bat in hand. She then proceeds to totally trash the car she's pulled up beside. Right there, you're wondering what the heck is going on. Then a man in an identical car pulls up near her and says something to her. She looks over at the man in the identical car, realizing she has trashed the wrong car. Just then, the owner of the trash car comes out and sees what she's done. The logo comes up and it's for a local body shop. Clever, visual, no sound required. But after seeing that spot several times, I had to turn on the sound to hear what the man says to her when he pulls up. So the ad worked. So the ad worked on every level. Just for the record, the man in the identical car is obviously the boyfriend or husband, and she's obviously enraged over something he did. He pulls up and sarcastically says, "Hun, what are you doing?" I didn't need to hear that. I didn't need to hear that to know what the ad was about. But I just had to hear what the guy says to her. Today, you can get your ads made for very little money. Mr. Tim paid $400 for his ad, and the local cable company did everything for him. I know several local companies that have had spots created that look pretty darn good for under $1,000. Billboard advertising. This is the final area of advertising. Obviously, everything I've already covered applies here. Billboards must be remarkably distinctive or they are a waste of money. They are not practical for direct response. In an area I drive through frequently, there is a billboard ad for a local mortgage broker. When I called him to ask if he got response from it, he said that he did, but he wouldn't say how much. This made me think the response wasn't overwhelming, but he did say that it helped him close a lot of deals and to build his brand among real estate brokers he was trying to penetrate. So the billboard helped with folks who were already hearing from him. It was like they were dealing with a celebrity because he had this billboard along the highway right in their town. A little further down the road, another mortgage broker copied him, but made his billboard way too busy. He was trying to squeeze a TV commercial into a billboard. The billboard must have one single message, and it should be communicated visually. Obviously, all over New York and Los Angeles, billboards are used primarily for fashion, branding a specific designer. So there will be a sexy image and one word on the billboard. A recent client of mine has a stage show in South Carolina called the Carolina Opry. It has been in that area for more than 20 years and is a virtual institution for folks who go to Myrtle Beach. The assumption of folks who had not been there before was that it was some hillbilly country hoedown experience, but quite the contrary. Those who have seen it know that it has a little bit of everything and a lot of heart. Remember, you only have a few seconds to communicate an idea on a billboard. So I designed one that looked like this: 20% country, 80% other, 100% pure excitement. This conveyed that the show was not all country and that it was exciting. I then picked some images that showed a massive 40-person production in full swing. Additionally, some 60% of the people who go to Myrtle Beach have been there before. So I created some billboards that encourage people to see the show again with taglines like, "I see the Carolina Opry every time I come to Myrtle Beach." A straight, simple idea communicated in just a few seconds. So there's a good tune up on various types of advertising. Marketing weapon two, direct mail. Now, if you've done a good job with your education based marketing, chapter four, you can use it to make your direct mail much more powerful. Going back to the carpet cleaning company, it has created direct mail that shows a superimposed image of a dust mite with the words, 5 million of these can live in your living room carpets if you don't get professional cleaning. The dust mite is an ugly creature. It looks like a creature from the movie Aliens, starring Sigourney Weaver. What market data did you gather for your stadium pitch that would make a good wow for your direct mail piece? A successful direct mail campaign absolutely depends on how regular and consistent your mailings are. In Chapter 9, the nitty gritty of getting the best buyers, you will learn step by step how to run a direct mail campaign for dream prospects. For now, let's go with some fundamental rules from my own experience about how to make your direct mail pieces stand out. First, use color as much as possible, either on the envelope itself or in the lettering on the outside of the envelope. Second, put messages on the envelope. Second, put messages on the envelope. You've got to get the prospect to open the envelope. So, a message on the outside, which should follow the above rules for writing a great ad headline, is a good way to go. Make it benefit oriented and focused on the prospect. Third, think about the way you sort your own mail. Which items are you going to open first? Something that looks like a greeting card or a bill from the phone company. I've seen many companies use greeting card, invitation, or even wedding announcement style mailers to great effect. Countless books on direct mail are better sources of information, so I will limit my comments to use direct mail as a weapon for attacking your dream clients. But don't forget that this weapon, when combined with other weapons, can be made much more effective. I had a client who added direct mail to the same audience he was advertising to, and his response went up 35%. Every magazine will let you send direct mail to their subscribers. So if you are in a trade magazine, try mirroring your advertising campaign with a matching direct mail effort to that magazine's subscription base. Marketing weapon number three, corporate literature. Again, the key to using these marketing weapons to their maximum potential is to coordinate them so that the look, feel, and content of each weapon is consistent with the others. Like your direct mail pieces, your brochure should draw from your education-based marketing efforts and should be a miniature version of your stadium pitch or core story. That means it will have riveting data that sets the buying criteria on your behalf. It will use the same exact graphics that you use in your presentations, advertisements, and direct mail pieces to enhance the cohesion of your marketing efforts. Here's a practical scenario. You go out and present your core story. This is the educational orientation you have built with market data that you give the potential clients. It goes well, and the prospect now wants to present the information to his boss or at a committee meeting. He asks for a copy of your orientation. If your core story is a masterpiece, you might not want to give it to your prospects, many of whom may have a relationship with one of your competitors, but you can give them a brochure that includes the highlights of your core story. This is important because in giving them a brochure, you're giving them a sales tool that turns them into a core story presenter for you. I'm working with a company called United Multifamily, www.umf.com, which sells apartment which sells apartment buildings. Their core story is a masterpiece of information that not only encourages owners to sell their buildings now, but gives many reasons why you want to list your apartment building with this particular company over all others. This core story has an 80% closing ratio. The company brochure is a miniature version of the core story, highlighting the main data in the core story. So now, when a rep meets with an apartment building owner and that owner wants to talk to the spouse or partners, the rep can leave the brochure, which acts as a mini core story. Or if the rep can't present the entire core story for some reason, that rep can pull out the brochure and do a mini story right on the spot. Let's flesh this out a little further. Most brochures are a waste of money. They are totally focused on you instead of the buyer. I call them ego pieces. Let's imagine that you are an apartment building owner. You're at a trade show for apartment building owners, and on one of the tables, there are dozens of brochures. Most say something like, Kimberly and Wayne, why we're great. The only people who will pick these up will be people who already know about these companies and are interested in contacting them. But there's one that says the 5 most dangerous trends facing apartment building owners and how to maximize your apartment building asset. Who wants to know about that? Every apartment building owner at this trade show would want to pick up that brochure. Which brochure are you which brochure do you want to read? Or which brochure are you going to want to read? When done properly, brochures are awesome sales tools. Also falling under this category of corporate literature are promotional pieces. We have more than a dozen superb reports that we use as marketing tools. When people subscribe to our email list, they begin to receive these reports every few days. The reports offer excellent information, and at the end of the report, there is a subtle plug for the service we want to sell. It will say, to learn even more about building your sales, go to www.howtodoublesales.com. Subtle, but very effective. As of this writing, 30% of those who get the reports end up clicking on that link at the end of the article. It's an outstanding method of driving traffic. When I sold advertising, we had a series of excellent one-page promotional pieces, each explaining another sales point. These were used for our regular campaigns, but the sales staff also deploy them on a case-by-case basis for specific objections they would get from prospects. For example, if someone only wanted to take one ad, we had a promo piece that made a case for why you should advertise with frequency. If someone wanted to run only a black and white ad, we had a promo piece that gave excellent data on why color was a much better way to go. Exercise. Write down 5 to 10 major sales points for why a prospect would want to buy your product over another, or why you would want prospects to go deeper and or do more than they might initially do. Then create a series of one-page promotional pieces that take on each case. Again, make sure each piece focuses on them, not you, and tells them why, not how. Use color. Use graphics if you can for each promotional piece. But if that's not practical, you can make a great promo piece with a large headline. See below for a sample of one we use when another company wants to promote a mass teleconference with me as the trainer. 4 ways to double your business in just 12 months. Join me on a mass teleconference with celebrity business growth expert Chet Holmes to learn how to double your sales in 12 months flat. Yes, this man actually teaches 4 different concepts that will double your sales. Each can double your sales in 12 months flat. This will be a rocket ship ride of an experience, and all in about 70 minutes flat, no travel required. Attend right over the telephone. The speaker, Chet Holmes, is the only trainer in the world to have personally sold his services to more than 60 of the Fortune 500. His client list includes Estee Lauder, Warner Brothers, American Express, and Citibank. He has 65 training products selling in 23 countries. Success Magazine reports Chet Holmes breaks sales records wherever he goes. To see a 2-minute intro on Chet, go to www.chetholmes.com. Here is a sneak preview of our teleseminar this coming Tuesday. 1. Chet teaches how to focus like a laser beam on what he calls best buyers, reduce marketing costs, and dramatically increasing the size of your sale. 2. How would you like to get all your best possible buyers into one room, all at once, and get to present to them all at once? Learn the magic of a concept Chet teaches called the stadium pitch. 3. Superstar growth strategy. Chet teaches how anyone, no matter how small, can hire an army of commissioned salespeople to radically grow a business. 4. 0 to 100 million. Chet teaches the traits and skills you need to grow your company to 100 million. Even if it's not your goal to go to 100 million, you'll learn things that will change everything. Most businesses get stuck at a certain level. Chet's material gets you unstuck and growing like a weed. So join me and celebrity business growth expert Chet Holmes on Tuesday, October 10th, promptly at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and get the ride of your life in just over an hour. Only 1,000 can attend. The last time he did one of these, there were more than 1,000 people who could not get on the teleconference. So you'd better register now to hold your spot. This has a good headline and curiosity driven copy. Lots of teasers and enough information to make you want more. And this does focus on me because in this case, I'm the celebrity trainer. But the copy has a heavy focus on the prospect as well, giving a lot of promises. You should have a dozen or so pieces like this with a good headline, good focus on the benefits to your prospects, and a call to action. Marketing weapon 4. Public relations. What is public relations? You are doing PR work when you throw splashy events such as trade show parties and benefits for your clients. PR also includes press releases, building relationships with the press, getting articles written by or about you, and affiliating with strong forces that can help you, such as trade associations and community groups. Most companies don't have a cohesive, highly effective public relations effort. Yet it can work miracles for building your fame, even if you are a very small company. This is especially true today with the prominence of the internet. As I mentioned, we have more than a dozen reports that we use as promotional pieces for our email list. Well, we can use those reports as articles and have our PR firm place those articles everywhere. In any given month, an article written by me will appear in more than 100 website in e-zines. That's every month. If you Google my name, you will find articles in thousands of places on the web. As of this writing, 56,000 websites contain articles by or about me. What are the places in which an article by you can appear? Exercise. Write down several ideas for articles that could be published in magazines, trade publications, or e-zines on the web. These same articles can become free reports that you use to market to prospects. This is how you beat the competition with your brain, not your wallet. A great core story will make this easier. Right now, I'm working with two women farmers who've created a way to put images on fruit. Yes, that's right. The apple you give your kids could have SpongeBob on it. Their core story is about the health of Americans and how eating more fruit increases your life expectancy. Here is one of their press releases. Note that it is full of interesting information. One of the keys for getting your press release picked up. Press release. Obesity in American children quadruples. Fast food companies to blame. A study conducted between 1963 and 1970 showed that obesity among children ages 6 to 11 years old was at about 4% of the child population. A similar study conducted between 1999 and 2002 shows that obesity is now at a staggering 16%. Many trends have contributed to these factors. Among them is that large corporations have become much more aggressive in their marketing to children, and with great reason. In 1960, children influenced about $5 billion in spending. Today, that number is $500 billion. Quite an increase. The number of products corporate America markets directly to children has gone from 52 products in 1994 to more than 500 products today. A study of grade school children showed that 96% of them could recognize Ronald McDonald. The only other figure with recognition that high was Santa Claus. The golden arches as a symbol are more recognized than the Christian cross. One company's solution: two women in Burlington, Washington, who run a small farm called AMF Farms, have lobbied and received a grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to see if images on fruit can spur on children eating more fruit. AMF Farms began by offering mini pumpkins with cartoon characters painted on them. These products gained national distribution with such chains as Walmart, Kroger, Safeway, and Albertsons. Once they perfected the art of mass producing painted pumpkins, they made the next step. which was embossing edible images on fruit. AMF Farms can paint just about any image on fruit, particularly pears, apples and pears. States Michelle Youngquist of AMF Farms, imagine how much more likely your child would be to eat an apple if it had Dora the Explorer or SpongeBob on it. AMF Farms is currently working with large growers of fruit to spread the usage of cartoon characters on fruit. They can also emboss logos of famous sports teams and corporate logos of companies that want to promote the eating of more fruit. According to the Journal of Agriculture and Chemistry, people who eat the USDA daily recommendation of 5 or more servings of fruit and vegetables are half as likely to get cancer and 20% less likely to get heart disease. America's two biggest killers. This is just something we can do to help, but we're a small company, says AMF Farms co-founder Liz Mitchell. We're trying to do our part to get children healthier. If this one thing can get a child eating an apple per day, it's worth everything we're going through. To learn more, go to www.fruitdeco.com. This is an effective PR piece because it starts with a newsworthy pain point. Every day, there are articles in the news about the problem of obesity in general, especially child obesity. The PR piece is also effective because it uses mainstream and well respected sources for its data. It reads like a news article without needing much editing. The article presents a company doing something right by offering one small solution to getting kids to eat healthier. Because the article is not focused on AMF per se, but on important issues that will be of greater interest to editors. It's much more likely to get picked up by the press. Make the news. The press consists of people who are just like anyone else whose attention you'd like to capture. Just as the Dream 100 strategy works to penetrate impossible accounts, it can be used with great effect to penetrate even the largest media sources. If Oprah's producers hear from you each and every month with yet another idea, they will get to know exactly who you are. The same is true of any publication or news source. If you are national in scope, you can target national publications with such consistency that they will get to know exactly who you are. Exercise. Make a list of dream media outlets that you'd like to write about your company or publish your articles. If your market is local, hit your local newspapers constantly with ideas or items of interest. A great core story that is packed full of data will give you a lot of fodder for press releases that will attract the attention of editors or news sources. Ever notice how the entertainment media all cover the same shows all the time? There are tons of entertainment choices, but only the same 10 shows or movies get covered. That's because the people who determine the content of entertainment shows and magazines have relationships with the PR folks responsible for getting those shows covered. You too can form relationships with the important media people covering your industry. In fact, according to Guerrilla Marketing, 70% of what is published as news is actually placed news or news that comes directly from press releases and PR initiatives. Most media sources are being besieged by press releases. A sharp editor can see a story in those press releases and assign a reporter to flesh it out. Every press release you send should be followed by a phone call. That's how you build relationships. Here's what you say. Did you receive our press release about the amazing amount of pollutants in the home? We were wondering if there was anything we could do to help with that story. Often at that point, you'll be asked to rescind your press release or you'll be brushed off. But the following month, when you call about the 5 million dust mites in everyone's living room, the editor will start to remember you're the guy who knows about indoor air pollution. If a story comes up along those lines, guess who they are going to call first? Also, editors are just like anyone else. They respect someone who continues to call them with story ideas on a regular basis. Earlier, I mentioned American Art Resources, the people who sell art to hospitals. If they targeted the press for hospitals with pieces like what AAR is great, why AAR is great, or AAR gets another major hospital client, how effective do you think they'd be? Those are ego pieces and are of little interest to anyone except AAR. Instead, They use data from their core story for their press releases, so they have received remarkable coverage in national magazines and in many of the trade journals that cover their industry. Their core story goes into data about hospitals and their struggles, everything from lawsuits to injuries caused in hospitals to lack of staff and waning profits. They cite data like this: 2,000 of the 5,000 or so hospitals are operating in the red. AHA News. Hospitals accidentally kill more than 200,000 people per year. Journal of American Medicine. Their core story contains a massive amount of very disconcerting data that makes for very interesting information to editors of magazines and newspapers. Their PR effort has been astonishing. But make no mistake, PR isn't just press releases. What about speaking at an industry event? You're not likely to get a speaking gig just to talk about your product or service. But surely, if you've got a powerful core story, you'll certainly get a gig. AAR's core story was so packed with great data that they ended up being keynote speakers at several major conferences with their Dream 100 all in the room, all at once. Masterful PR for sure. In one speaking engagement, they got more than 300 of their dream target audience seeking more information from them. Tying some of this together, they also created a brochure that mirrored the data in their core story. It also featured beautiful art of interest to hospitals. This company executed at the top of the game, showing remarkable pig-headed discipline and determination to see the vision come to fruition. Exercise. Look at your core story and make a list of the data that would be of great interest to the readers of your target publications. It's even easier if you are in a specific vertical market. Let's say you market to dentists or chiropractors or even manufacturers. Every market has trade publications that focus specifically on that market. For most markets, there are only a handful of these outlets, and you can get to know the editors well if you talk to them every single month. One article, properly placed, can work for you for years. I got an article in Success magazine that said Karate Master Chet Holmes breaks sales records wherever he goes. A photo showed me doing a karate kick while standing on a table in my office overlooking the Bay Bridge in San Francisco. Yes, I wish this article had given more substantive information, but I've used it 1,000 times in other media activities. If you go to my website, you'll see that article represented there prominently. I've also used it as a mailer to my dream clients. It has been a nice bonus to my career, but only because I used it properly in all my marketing efforts. Exercise. List all the ways you could use an article that has been or will be written about you or by you. Here are some ideas. 1. Use it as a promotional piece. 2. Have salespeople show it to prospects. 3. Use it as a direct mail piece. 4. Include it in your brochure or core story. 5. Hand it out at trade shows. 6. Use or quote it in your advertising. PR Wire, PR Newswire, www.prnewswire.com, is an amazing tool if you are writing press releases. It goes to every single media source on the planet for hundreds, not thousands of dollars. I used it twice and ended up in the Wall Street Journal both times. The staff helps you write the press release because they know what will be picked up. Another secret to writing an effective press release is to mention a Fortune 500 company in your copy. You have to be very careful about liability here, and that is your responsibility. But if you have a legitimate reason to mention them, it helps in getting your article noticed by the media. Marketing weapon 5: personal contact. You can advertise to me, direct mail to me, or send me an article. But now I'm on the phone with your company. This is the most potent form of marketing. None of your marketing efforts will have as much impact on your client as personal contact with your salespeople or customer service reps. Since personal contact is such a powerful marketing weapon, we've devoted several chapters to it specifically and included more tips to help you improve this area in your business throughout the entire book. So for now, let's move to Marketing Weapon 6: trade shows and market education. Done properly, a trade show can take you from obscurity to the top of the market in a single event. Trade shows offer an awesome opportunity to really stand out and get noticed. Done improperly, trade shows can be a waste of money. You can't imagine how many people tell me that a trade show they went to wasn't worth it. Then they learn what you're about to learn and it changes everything. There are only 3 rules to having a great trade show, but there are 100 ways to capitalize on those rules. In order of importance, here are the rules. 1. Get noticed. 2. Drive traffic. 3. Capture leads. Now, let's go deep. Rule 1. Get noticed. What can you do to really stand out in the crowd? Nothing, including great products and superb selling, will matter if you can't get noticed. Most trade shows are boring. Booth after booth of folks hawking their wares. What you have to do is be the fun booth, the place that looks more interesting and exciting than any other booth. With my help, one of my clients chose a Hawaiian theme, the crew all dressed up in identical Hawaiian shirts so that they would stand out. Plus, think about the prospects who are at the trade show. If you go to the trade show with a show of force, another thing I recommend, and you've got 5 to 10 folks at the show in Hawaiian shirts, everyone starts to notice you. People even say to other people, "What's with the people in the Hawaiian shirts?" Rule 2. Drive traffic. Let's soup up the strategy even more. So, 1, we've got Hawaiian shirts. 2, we've got a backdrop of a Hawaiian beach scene at the booth with giant letters saying, "Win a trip free to Hawaii." 3, we are serving tropical drinks all day long. So now we're getting noticed. But let's go further. We want to drive traffic. The free trip to Hawaii and the tropical drinks are designed to drive traffic. Rule 3. Capture leads. Now people get to the booth, and in order to enter the drawing, they need to give you a business card and fill out a quick little form that asks just a few qualifying questions. And here's a tip about getting data from folks. If you ask, "What is the size of your company?" they will either lie or leave it blank. But if you put the same question in multiple choice form, you can get a lot of information. For example, your simple form could say, size of company, check 1. Under $1 million, 1 million to $5 million, 5 million to $10 million, 10 million plus. If you are selling to a lot of small companies, you could start your choices with under $100,000, or you might ask, how many widgets do you buy every year? Fewer than 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15. You get the idea. Ask them 2 or 3 questions, all with categories of choice so that they can just check the box that applies to them. So now, not only are you capturing leads, but you know just enough about them to prioritize your follow-up. And naturally, while you are serving them drinks and encouraging them to register, you strike up a conversation and look for the pearls, the great opportunities for your particular business. To get even more attention at the trade show, another client hired a very attractive model to walk around with the drinks on a tray and send folks back to the booth to register for the free trip to Hawaii. Every major city has modeling agencies enabling you to go online and choose a model to work your trade show booth. You can get an attractive model or two. A man and a woman is a good idea for about $300 per day per model, a small price to pay to drive traffic. Also, to soup this up even further, you can throw a luau party at a popular club. Then your model can say to folks, "Hey, we're having a luau later tonight that's going to be a ball. It's by invitation only, so make sure you get your invite at booth number 2372 right over there." One of the best things you can do at a trade show is throw a party. But for Pete's sake, if you do that, you'd better make sure you do it right. In one industry in which I worked, we became famous for our parties. Every booth in the entire place would buzz about our parties, and our clients would seek out my sales staff to get those coveted invitations. The secret to throwing a great party is to do it at a popular club. Here's how you do that for very little money. A week or two before the trade show, you call the most popular clubs in the town where the trade show is being held. Call your hotel and ask the concierge to name the hottest club. Call during the day and ask for the manager of the club. Here's what you say: "I'm throwing a party in your town in 2 weeks, and I'm going to have 200 people with me. I'm going to pick up the tab for them to drink all night. I'm trying to decide which club I want to use. Can you tell me about yours? You can see where a wise club manager will want you to come to his club rather than someone else's. And most trade shows are during the week, which means on a Tuesday evening when a club is usually slow and you're going to fill it with 200 partying trade show attendees. Things to negotiate. No door charge for your patrons. I've never had a club yet that wouldn't happily waive the door charge. So that saves you a lot right there, since door charge is $20 a head in some clubs. Another thing you need to make sure the manager agrees to: your guests don't wait in line, they go right in. That makes them feel like the stars who don't have to wait in line, long lines to get into someplace swanky. Next, you want to put drink coupons that your sales staff and models hand out. This makes your sales staff very popular. Everyone gets 2 coupons with the invite, but when they want more, they have to come to you. This also enables you to control the bill and make sure that strangers aren't telling the bartender, "I'm with XYZ party." Put it on their tab. Then, at the end of the night, the club owner can count the coupons and you just pick up the bar tab. I usually negotiate a flat fee, say $6 per drink. Some folks will drink scotch, but many will drink water or club soda. So if you get a low pre negotiated price, knowing that most people will not drink the really expensive drinks, the manager will usually agree to set a price for all drinks. Do the math. If you have 200 people who drink an average of 3 drinks, that's 600 drinks at $6. So you're talking about a bar tab of under $4,000. Not a lot to pay for the best party at the trade show. Here's a few more things to think about. Usually, a trade show will have one night when the organizers are throwing a party or event. It's not wise to go up against that. Also, if you're a small company and some major player is renting out Disneyland, you can get lost. So try to find out what else is going on before you choose the night of your party. And make sure you make it hot, the party to attend. You do that by being slightly stingy with the invites and telling everyone, "This is going to be the hottest party at this trade show." The first place I threw one of these parties was Toronto. I cut the exact deal mentioned with the club that was at the top of the CN Tower. Talk about the ideal place to throw the party. I had 5 charming superstar salespeople who went around and promoted that party like it was going to be amazing. I hired an incredibly attractive model to help promote it. And we went from obscurity in that market to top of the buzz in one single trade show. The most important rule about throwing a trade show party is that it has to be fun. That's one of the benefits of throwing a party at a club that is already open for business. You have some built in potential dance partners. Make sure everyone is dancing and having a great time. Models are a great idea here too, and only cost about $100 extra to attend the party. Heck, they might they might go just because it sounds like fun. They will draw attention and get people dancing. Your role at a party is important to the overall success of the party as well. Be very friendly. Boldly walk up to people and shake their hands. Then introduce them to others. Make sure no one is standing around looking uncomfortable. The bottom line is that you want trade show buzz the next day with everyone talking about your party. Some more themes that I've used to great success in the past include setting up a casino in the booth, hosting a magician, hiring a fortune teller, and creating a Roaring Twenties theme. The possibilities are endless, but the most effective themes tie into what you sell. That's more entertaining and ensures that your message won't be lost amid all of those tropical drinks or fortune revelations. I had a client who chose a Star Trek theme. We all dressed up in high quality Star Trek uniforms, complete with the beeper on the chest that made that little sound when you said, "Beam me up, Scotty." It was a huge success. The CEO had the Admiral's uniform, so he was especially distinguished. This company was trying to establish that it was the future in that particular industry. Another client who sold investment property in England did a trade show where investors of every type came to look at various investments. They chose James Bond as their theme. They called it License to Make a Killing. All the men dressed up in tuxedos and the women were in evening gowns. They handed out squirt guns at the trade show and got models to hand out invitations to a bond party on a yacht they had rented for the night. Because they were restrictive on the tickets, they generated a ton of excitement for the party. The average booth at that trade show came away with 15 leads or so. They had a blast at the trade show and left with 550 leads. Another client sold products that help farmland yield more crops per square foot or yard, reduce erosion, and produce stronger, more nourished crops. I suggested that the company do a doctor theme and call it the Dirt Doctors, as obviously its product improves your dirt. The staff did not want to do it, not one of them. Not even the CEO wanted to dress up like a doctor at the trade show full of farmers. But they finally did it and had stunning results. When I was encouraging yet another client to follow this advice and he too was timid, I had the dirt doctor client write to the other client about the results. Here's the dirt doctor story from the lips of the CEO. When Chet came up with this idea, let me start over. When Chet came up with this idea for us, he said, "Trust me, just do it." We did it. This particular show is one we had done every year for 7 years. When this approach, we got more leads. With this approach, we got more leads than we had gotten in all the previous 7 years combined. We did not look like idiots as I thought we would. We were the life of the party. We decided to completely go for it, and it was a big hit. As Chet mentioned, we sell soil additives. My VP and I dressed in white lab coats and wore stethoscopes around our necks. My name tag said Dr. Dirt, and his read Dr. Soil. We had a massage therapist in our booth giving complimentary neck and back massages, and we had our lovely blonde nurse walking around the trade show handing out prescriptions for relaxation. People were told to bring the prescriptions to our booth for a free relaxing massage and a chance to win a relaxing trip to Maui. All they had to do was get the prescription signed by one of the doctors. They came in droves and lined up for their massages. Because they had to get their prescription signed by one of us to be entered into the Maui giveaway, we guaranteed ourselves an opportunity to talk to everyone. While they waited for their massage, we had time for substantive conversation. What happened was everyone was in a great mood when they came to our booth. We were the life of the party. They were already on our side because they were having so much fun. We focused on the fun, and the prospects genuinely wanted to know what our company and product were all about. We also discovered that after a massage, people were really friendly and appreciative, and they would linger to ask questions about the product. Also, our massage therapist was familiar with the product, so she could talk it up while we were working on them. I could go on forever, and I would be happy to answer any specific questions you might have. But I learned that when Chet says, "Trust me," that's exactly what you should do. Tim Alderson, President, Aggregator Incorporate, www.aggregator.com. Of course, you can go to a trade show in your normal clothes and calmly talk about your product or service to whoever happens to come by your booth. But if you really want to turn your trade show booth into a lead generating machine, you need to completely go for it. Tim followed the rules for a successful trade show as laid out in the paragraphs above. Take the extra steps to get noticed. Drive traffic and capture data about your prospect. Hire extra people like a massage therapist or a palm reader or models to join your staff and make your booth a magnet for everyone at the trade show. Tim's company got more leads than it had in 7 previous years combined. It takes careful planning and some creativity, but it's worth every extra effort. Exercise. You can do this as a workshop with your staff. Let everyone think about themes or ideas around your product or service that might make a great event at a trade show. You can put up a lot of ideas already offered in this book, but be open to new and different ideas. Charity events. Charity events are amazing PR vehicles. You may want to structure your trade show party at a charity event or do such an event separately. There are two primary reasons why they are an opportunity for your company. One, charity events can get tons of publicity for the charity. It's much charity events can get tons of publicity for the charity. It's much easier to get publicity when it's for a good cause than when you are trying to get publicity for your own company. The uh the publicity will also mention your company in a very positive light. Two, in most cases the event pays for itself. Only the profits from an event go to the charity. Ask Ask restaurants, travel companies, and other trade show attendees to donate prizes, gifts, or entertainment. So the value of the event for those attending goes beyond giving to charity. A charity event lets you bond like crazy and be a celebrity among your Dream 100, and you do a good deed in the process. Here are some charity event ideas. You could set up a film premiere with a local theater without involving the distributor. When I worked with 680 chiropractors for a year and a half, teaching them how to grow their businesses, we created an event to benefit them and a local charity of their choice. I got the president of Sony Pictures Distribution on the phone and told him, I have 680 doctors across the country who are willing to promote your movie. Interested? He was. And we set up film premieres in more than 200 of these chiropractor cities. A chiropractor who lived in Dallas went to the Dallas Cowboys and told them he was doing a charity event. A Hollywood film premiere right there in Dallas. They said, Great, we'll send the cheerleaders by. The film was Dance With Me, and the chiropractor got the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders to dance in the parking lot for free. Do you think you could get your Dream 100 clients to an event like that? This chiropractor did, and Dream clients even paid to attend the event. Here's another concept related to the Dream 100 concept. I call it the market influencer sale. Market influencers are leaders in your particular market, community leaders, presidents of the biggest companies, anyone who, by showing interest in your product or service, increases the interest of others. Another good example might be celebrities. I remember a friend of mine owned an antique shop where he sold handmade lamps. After Barbara Streisand started collecting these lamps, their price tripled. In the case of the chiropractors, MDs are important targets because they are a great source of referrals. Many of our participants marketed that Many of our participants marketed the event to every MD in their town. Another chiropractor got a presidential candidate to come to the function. Having that market influencer enabled that chiropractor to get still other important. Holding a charity event that was attended by such notables raised the public stature of the chiropractor sponsoring the occasion. In addition, these were truly great charity events because they were fun for everyone and they raised a lot of money for a good cause. Some were the talk of the town for several weeks. These chiropractors decided they wanted to be famous in their communities. If you want to be famous in yours, put on a charity event and then get your Dream 100 and market influencers involved. Exercise. Who makes it onto your market influencer list? Put together a list of the most influential people to promote your product or service and add them to your regular marketing. The most obvious and easiest thing to do is to put on a classic cocktail party, dance, or dinner dance. It's simple. Book the place, hire the DJ, get companies to donate gifts and prizes, and invite highly influential people. Charge $50 per head or more, and you can throw one heck of a party. Another great idea is putting on an award ceremony. With one of the companies I ran, we put on a ceremony called the Lammys for the Legal Advertising and Marketing Awards. We had as many categories as we could think of so we could honor as many of the guests as possible. Judges and winners and the entire audience were filled with our Dream 100 list. We charged to enter for an award, and we charged a per plate fee to attend the lavish black tie affair. So the event didn't cost us anything. We had dinner, dancing, awards, and then more dancing. A big group of us even ended the evening in the hot tubs at the hotel, partying to the late hours. This was a killer event. Award categories included best ad, most creative ad, best trade show booth, best new product, overachiever of the year, and CEO of the year. We put together a panel of notable judges from popular ad agencies and, of course, a few members of our staff. We wrote clever scripts for my staff to introduce all the nominees and give great little send-ups for the winners. And when they accepted their awards, this still stands out in my mind. 15 years later, as a marketing accomplishment beyond anything I've ever seen, you have to have enough clout to put on an award ceremony for your industry or area. But boy, is it great fun and rewarding if you do it right? Exercise. Write down an award ceremony idea that you could pull off at your annual trade show, in your community, or for your profession. Who are the most influential people in your area and what kind of awards could you give them? The more categories, the better. Your own trade association. Trade shows are great, but there are other ways to gain top of mind awareness through market education. You can create a trade show association of your very own that would benefit your industry. You can even involve your competitors. They'll love to come to your event because their dream clients will be there as well. But you'll be in the catbird seat because it's your trade association. Ask your Dream 100 to be on committees, serve as chairman of subcommittees, and sit on the board of advisors. A trade association with worthy objectives is effective. Is there some problem in your industry that you can rally around? If you're if you organize industry players around an important issue, you will rule your industry. Other educational ideas. I once put on an industry seminar for all my clients. I charged them to attend. We had speakers, many of whom were from my Dream 100. We had 27 seminars with breakout sessions and two heavy hitter keynotes, one of whom was Jay Levinson, author of the Guerrilla Marketing series. You can also create a mass teleconference for your clients. I do these for nearly every company that hires me. One of my clients has one of the largest duck farms in the country. He sells primarily to Chinese restaurants, but wanted to expand into all restaurants. We put on a mass teleconference for him where restaurant owners could learn many tricks for building their traffic. And at the end of the conference, we talked about the growing popularity of duck as an entree. The client who sells carpet cleaning services wanted to expand his reach to interior designers because they are market influencers in upscale homes. In his case, we put on a mass teleconference showing interior decorators how to get more clients and get more revenue from current clients. One way was to recommend this carpet and rug cleaning company, which in turn would pay a commission for every client sent to them. The carpet cleaning client also has a product that protects furniture and carpets against stains and spills. So the last part of the conference was about how these interior designers could make additional revenue by offering this protective coating as an add-on and how they could set their clients up for the gold service to schedule semi-annual cleanings. Exercise. What kind of mass teleconference can you offer your clients that they would happily attend? And what kind of a speaker would attract a good number of these clients? You will only need the speaker for 1 hour on a teleconference. If you can attract a big crowd to the teleconference, there's almost no speaker who would refuse to take part for very little money. Marketing weapon number 7, internet. In 1995, only 5 million people used this marketing weapon. That number jumped to 105 million just 4 years later. Today, virtually everyone uses it. Amazon.com may have struggled in its early years, but it still took $1 billion dollars in market share from other booksellers. Because Amazon grew with the internet, the company reached 1 billion in sales in 4 years flat. Predating the internet, other booksellers, bookstore chains, took 50 years to reach 1 billion in annual sales. The internet can create an awesome opportunity, or it can become your worst nightmare overnight if some competitor learns to utilize it better than you. There are entire books on this subject, but here are my five-pronged approach to tie this together with everything else you are doing here. 1. Capture leads. 2. Build a relationship. 3. Interact as much as possible. 4. Offer a webinar. 5. Convert traffic to sales. One of the best lessons I've learned about building a healthy database is the concept of the Shy Yes page taught by Alex Mandossian. My main homepage, www.chetholmes.com, is packed with opportunities to get things for free. At the time of this writing, that site is getting 52,000 unique visits every month. These are generally people who have heard me speak, read one of my articles, or heard about me from someone else or from some marketing we've done. On every page and at the end of every article, that site offers you a subscription opportunity for a free newsletter, free teleconference, free event, and so on. And with all that going on, only 1% to 3% of the visitors subscribe. That's 520 to 1,560 of the 52,000. That site has other uses besides capturing leads, like branding and acquainting new folks with my material. But imagine how highly inefficient it would be to advertise that site on the radio, for example. I'd pay thousands of dollars to drive leads, and of those, I'd drive a tiny percentage who would register to be emailed other promotions. And then those promotions might not even get opened. So, using the concept of the shy yes, we designed another site. Alex likens a website to trying to get a date. If you ask someone to marry you the first time you talk to her, you're not likely to get a yes. But if you ask her to have a cup of coffee, you might get a yes. It is hard to say no to a cup of coffee when you are in the market for romance and you kind of like the person. So it's an easier step. Translating that to the concept of a website. My main page is in your face from every direction with offers and things to do. This is not a bad thing, but the direction of the relationship is now unclear. You have to decide what you want to do on my site, and I have no control over what you choose. On that site, I also offer right on the homepage a chance to go to a webinar. Of those who go to the site, maybe 1 in 52,000 will actually register to attend a web seminar. Rather than my articles and interviews directing people to www.chetholmes.com, where there are 100 choices of what they can do, we created www.howtodoublesales.com. This site only gives people one choice. Give me your email address and go look at a 4-minute video on how to double your sales. At this site, there is a small paragraph with an audio component of my voice welcoming you to the site. To enter the site, you give just your first name and email address. There are no other choices, nothing to distract you. Get this, an astonishing 37% who go there opt in. This has built my database dramatically in a very short period of time. Of those who opt in, 2% to 6% opt to go to the next step, which is to participate in a webinar. So if I'm getting 10,000 unique visits, 3,700 of them give me their email address, and of those, 74 to 222 opt to take the seminar. So effectively, we moved from a site where only 1 of 52,000 visitors went on to our recommended next step to the Shy Yes site with 10,000 visits and 74 to 222 people going on to our recommended next step. With 1/5 the traffic, we are getting at least 74 times the results. That's a pretty good improvement and shows that the soft yes site that offers only one choice for how to proceed is an effective tool for driving leads. Companies should have sites like this that are specifically designed to capture leads. Or on your main site, you need to make the lead capture effort your most prominent graphic or offer. The website. The website suffers the same problem as most brochures. They are mostly ego pieces, touting your greatness. In contrast, a website that offers information of value to your prospects can be a community, a place where your prospects go to look at new things, to get information, to interact with you, and to get to know you better. Have free articles, free education, free sound bites, and free insight. Once prospects have registered with your Shy Yes page, connect them to the rest of your world with a follow up email or with a click through at some point after the Shy Yes page. Remember, the goal is to create a marketing program in which all the pieces work together like a finely tuned machine. So your website should look very much like your brochure and direct mail pieces, using the same graphics, headlines, and market data from your core story. As you learned in chapter 4, I don't care what kind of product or service you offer. There is information that can be of value to your prospects that can soup up your ability to spread, that can soup up your ability to spread your fame and advance your brand. The information on your website will get search engines to send you even more leads. Then, once folks come to your website because it has information of value to them, you can go a step further and offer web seminars and mass teleconferences to teach folks how to be more successful in the area in which they live that interacts with your product or service. This will get you even deeper with your prospects. So think of your website as a community where there are benefits to your prospects when they visit. When I was in the advertising business, I used to offer free seminars to advertisers about how to create better ads. The material in this chapter being the content. That was not so long ago. But since the internet That was not so long ago, but since the internet has ballooned to major significance, if I were selling advertising today, I'd have that seminar online. Think of how this cuts down on your travel expenses. I used to fly all over creation to deliver those seminars, and appointments were harder to get. The education based marketing concept that you learned in chapter 4 works hand in glove with the ability to do things over the internet. Here's the pitch I do today. How would you like to learn to make your advertising literally 10 times more effective? And you can do it right from the comfort of your favorite office chair. It's hard to resist such an offer. There are many examples I could give. Somebody tried to call, but I should be on soon. Oh, don't see you. Mic thing still. There are many examples I could give you to flesh out the model of turning your website into a community. The examples below are simple and some are even silly, but each shows how far this concept can go and how it helps you capture more leads and build a better brand. If you sell water as a mundane example, you could have a site with everything you wanted to know about water or everything you'd better know about water. This site could then show all the things that water does for the body. It could explain what you need to drink water, why you need to drink water, how much water you should drink, what the status of water is on the planet, what the different additives are in the water we drink today, and what happens to our tap water today. What's happening to our tap water today. Now, when you're advertising your water, you can send folks to your site to learn the 5 most dangerous things everyone should know about water today. Put that little plug on every bottle of water that you sell and every ad that you have, and so on. Then have a place right on the screen that says, "Want to make your friends healthier? Send them to this site and get a chance to win a new car." Give away 1 car per year, and millions will send others to your website where you brand like crazy. And, of course, capture emails. Now you have a free way to further your brand. If your product is shaving cream, you can use the headline, "The 5 Things You'd Better Know About Shaving," and how many different ways it affects your body. Plus, you can include tips on how to shave, the best ways to shave, and what every kid should know when it's time to shave. Cover topics such as the structure of various shaving creams and the impact that shaving has on your skin. You could even give the history of shaving. When did it start? How did it start? Who started it? Get this. If you offer all this and plug that website everywhere, you're already promoting your product. The site becomes an information source that folks are going to send other folks to in order to get this information. So, information based marketing accelerates your reach and increases word of mouth advertising. This is the information age, for Pete's sake. So, provide as much as you can. This can get more interesting if your product or service is more interesting. But every product or service can create a community, even bottled water or shaving cream. And I could go on with a chapter of ideas to expand on the concept. But you'll do it yourself as you start down the path. Just think of your website as a community. Focus on it, not on you, and look to get involved with and serve that community at every turn. A good consumer example of a website that builds community is Stonyfield Farms, producer of organic dairy products, yogurt, milk, etc. Their website offers terrific information on organic foods and how to help protect the earth. They also provide recipes and a multitude of other information on wellness. One thing they could do to improve their community is to prominently promote a subscriber program. As of this writing, they have no easy to find newsletter or other subscription opportunity that would tie them closer to the consumer. If they sent some of their articles directly to the consumer, those consumers might forward them to friends and family, thereby using the internet as a vehicle to dramatically enhance or increase Stonyfield's word of mouth marketing. There are mistakes that some folks will make, for sure. After I teach this material, I'll sometimes stumble on someone who has heard the concepts and liked them a lot, but in the execution, lost the real message. I will see students of this concept come out with 5 reasons why our product is better than anyone else's. Who is that focused on? Who cares about your 5 reasons? What I care about is what 5 things I need to learn that will serve me. And then, once I'm into that education, make it a good one. And then somewhere along the line, you can use your product or service as an example. And that is where you get to promote your product, but always from the perspective of what's in it for the client. Conclusion. The key for all of these marketing weapons is that they work together. Have a meeting once per month in which you look at each of your 7 months of marketing and see how you can make them all work together more effectively. Are your articles on your website? Do your salespeople use your articles? Does your advertising also drive leads to the community you built? Are you promoting referrals at every turn? Is your sales staff offering free education? Make it all work together. Here is the list of the 7 musts at a glance. 1. Advertising. 2. Direct mail. 3. Corporate literature, brochures, promotional pieces. 4. Public relations. 5. Personal contact, salespeople, customer service reps. 6. Market education, trade shows, speaking engagements, chat style marketing efforts as described in Chapter 6. 7. Internet, your website's email efforts and affiliate marketing. And that concludes Chapter 7, the 7 musts of marketing. I'm telling y'all right now, that is a super powerful chapter. If you want to win in business, I highly recommend reading this book, and I highly recommend reading all of these chapters. The 7 Musts of Marketing, super powerful chapter. The Art of Getting the Best Buyers. That was our chapter. The last chapter that we super powerful chapter. The next chapter that we're about to read tomorrow is The Eyes Have It. Attract and close most buyers by using more compelling visuals, plus the biggest mistakes everyone makes when presenting. So this chapter is all about presenting and about how to get the attention of clients and customers. highly recommend y'all dive deep into this book. This is one of the best books that I've ever read on business. My children read this book to me. I read this book to my children. And obviously now I'm reading this book to the whole world. But this is a great book to listen to and a great book to turn the printed page on, you know? So, yeah, thank y'all for listening. All right. Well, I got to get up out of here. I got a few things I got to knock out, but I will be back tomorrow, 8 a.m., and we're going to get back into it. All right. Y'all be blessed.